Get your backpacks ready. We're going on a trip, you guys. A trip down memory lane, but about backpacks. So as we know, there are different kinds of backpacks, but for this one, I'm gonna be mostly focusing on like school backpacks, because you know they're like those huge, you know, Mount Everest climber backpacks that are legitimately like from your head to your toe. I don't know enough about all that. So kids have always had books in school, as we know. What did they use to hold the books before backpacks? Well, it all began with the book strap. This was like the earliest version of carrying your books for school other than just holding them. It looked like a belt. Like I think you could literally just use a belt for it and it would be the same thing. It was like a leather strap and you would tighten it. I think it had like a little buckle on it too. Like they were carrying around those books like by that strap. Like Opie from the Andy Griffith Show, he would always have that book strap with him. And I remember watching that and being like, why doesn't he have a backpack? Hello, JanSport. JanSport didn't sponsor the Andy Griffith Show. And then there were like satchels, which you could like carry. They had a little handle at the top, usually leather. They loved like leather stuff. Having a backpack or a satchel was not common practice at all for carrying your books for school until one fateful day in Seattle, Washington, of all places, in 1969. One rainy day, in an outdoor shop located on the University of Washington campus, books and backpacks became one. Students started buying the meant for hiking backpacks and putting their books in them instead in an attempt to keep them dry from the frequent Seattle rains. Word slowly got around that students were using backpacks as book bags, and by the early 1980s, backpacks grew from novelty to necessity on school campuses in no time. So it was JanSport. JanSport managed to get their day packs into the student sporting goods store at the University of Washington. The backpacks were sold with hikers in mind, but students began using them to carry their books around campus. Before that, students young and old would carry their books clutched to their chest or tied with a strap. Backpacks were for backpacking, right? Not anymore. The trend caught on and spread like wildfire. Before long, companies far and wide began tailoring backpacks to the needs of students. So if Seattle hadn't been rainy on that day, who knows what would have happened? Thank you, rain. Rain, rain. Maybe don't go away just yet. But now, you know, there are so many backpacks, so many different kinds and designs on backpacks. They can like show your style, and like it's kind of like clothes, like how you can pick out clothes that fit you. Your backpack was like a part of who you were, like what backpack you choose. It was a big decision. Like you're carrying around that backpack every day, it better be a good backpack. This says, while the original student backpack came about organically in response to practical student needs, novelty backpacks that are made mostly with aesthetics in mind have become popular in more recent decades. Backpacks that feature shiny images of favorite children's TV and movie characters demonstrate the ways in which back to school has been commercialized and is marketed as a fun, sometimes whimsical time for young people. Backpacks aren't just about the business of carrying things to school anymore. They're a part of a student's identity. Because like back to school shopping is like an event now. Like buying your backpack, if we don't find the perfect backpack, it was like shopping for a wedding dress. It was like, I need the perfect backpack. I guess it started like in the 80s, 90s, where there were so many like characters on backpacks. It was exciting. Like if you had a favorite character or like a favorite show or movie, they would probably have a backpack for it. That was an exciting time. When you turn that corner in that back to school section, a little bit of sadness takes over you when you go into that back to school section, a little bit of sadness. But when you turn onto that backpack aisle and you see a High School Musical backpack, all that sadness goes away. Or these days, who would it be now? Like Peppa Pig. Do they have like Coco Melon backpacks? Or if you were feeling fancy, you could order the LL Bean monogram backpack. I loved mine. Those are still some of my favorite backpacks to date. They've been around for so long and they're timeless. They're absolutely timeless. I think I would usually get like a new backpack every year, but the LL Bean one was the only one that I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna keep her around another year. And like all kinds of designs and charms, you can like really make it your own. Little hand sanitizer, like the little rubber hand sanitizer thing that wraps around. The kids now, like I'm like kids these days in my 20s. The world is their oyster. The backpack world, absolutely their oyster. So many like fun trinkets and fun things you can put on them. There's also like the backpack versus the book bag of it all. You were either a backpack girly or a book bag girly. I was always backpack. I never said book bag, probably because it's harder to say, and I just couldn't see like a grown man being like, I've got my book bag. Like, y'all want to talk about icks? There have been like different trends with backpacks. Some of them that I think of are like the one shoulder messenger bags, and some of them were like canvas material. Most of them not great quality. Like a lot of these were only meant to last a year. Like if you moved it over to the next year, like we're duct taping the bottom of this backpack so your books don't fall through. I think you could carry it like across your shoulder or just on one shoulder, and it just the indentation, like you're walking around like this for the rest of the year. I don't know, it had that little pad thing, but it was about that thick. It would either have like the little clips on it, or it would be that Velcro and you'd be and you reach down there, or you had your over the shoulder. This is like really important to me, backpacks, because I was that girl. I would carry every single book home every single day, just in case. I think it was just me being like anxious about accidentally forgetting a book and not being able to study, so I would take every book home. So my backpack it was heavy. It was heavy to say the least. My personal favorite rolling backpacks, quite literally a suitcase that you would carry to school every day, and I loved every minute of it. And one thing that you can do to make it better, make it a clear rolling backpack. I would like to think I was pretty like organized with my stuff, so it wasn't too bad. But some people, if you can see into their backpack, like y'all know how some people, like they have that Nutri-Grain bar from approximately 4 months ago that they left out, chocolate chip cookie from October of last year, and you can see everything, and you get a window into there to see it clearly and perfectly. The crumpled up pieces of paper that were supposed to be homework, the marker streaks from that marker that accidentally got opened in there, you could see all that clearly. You could, oh, what is going on in there? There's their lunch. Like, you got their whole story from that. Even like notes that someone left you, you could read it. Do you like me, yes or no? Check yes or no. It was like you got a window into their soul. No, I never had one of these, but I saw one of them on Lizzie McGuire and I was like, what is this? I need this. Bubble backpacks. It was an inflatable backpack, and they're so cute. Those could not have been practical at all. You can maybe put a little lip gloss in there, put a couple highlighters in there. Your pencil could just like puncture the whole thing. But something that I always thought was really cool, and I still think is cool, was when people would put patches on their backpack or like pins all over it. I still think that's a cool look. I had like a Kavu purse. Still don't know how to pronounce it. And I put like pins all over it. And I felt like Miss Grunge Girl. There's something about that certain age that's like you unapologetically express yourself with your clothes and what you liked. Like there was no worrying about what other people thought really. And that seems to get more and more as you get older. I feel like it gets more and more, and then as you cross a certain point, it kind of plateaus and then it goes back down. And then once you're like in your old age, you're like, I don't care. So it does kind of come back around. But I always loved like pins and patches on backpacks, because it's like, oh, I don't care, like whatever, like it's just whatever, I just like slapped this on there, it's whatever. And if you were lucky, when you're on that aisle with the backpacks, next to it they may have a matching lunchbox. If you're lucky, the stars are aligning in this moment. If you find like a cute lunchbox that matches your backpack, especially if it's like a very niche, like specific thing that you love, there's nothing like it. I think actually, wait, let me see for a second. This is my old lunchbox. You know, you had to write your initials on there. It's kind of like blurred out now. So what are we doing now with backpacks? Backpacks seem to be about the same, but a lot of people, like I guess my age, are really into the tote bags. I feel like this is like the adult backpack. A lot of adults use backpacks still too, but like if you want to go like to the coffee shop and like do a little bit of work and like read a little book or something, you're taking your little tote bag. You see them everywhere, like everyone's selling them. A lot of people have merchandise that are tote bags now. You're just toting stuff around, as the name says. I don't even think I have a tote bag. I feel like I would like it if I dabbled into the tote bag community. And another like huge one that is not necessarily for school, I've seen these mostly at like if you're taking a trip or if you're at Disney World. Mostly at Disney World, the Loungefly backpacks. Loungefly has taken over for good reason, because they are cute. If you go to Disney World, you will see at least 500 people with a Loungefly backpack. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. If you think of any character, they probably have a Loungefly backpack for it, and they're like so cute and like so well thought out that I get it. And for some, they are a collector's item. I feel like they're the Funko Pops of backpacks. Like if you go on the Loungefly website, you will probably audibly gasp at least once looking at these. The Blue's Clues one. Oh, they actually do have Funko Loungefly backpacks, so that makes sense. I kind of love them. I'm so sorry. People hate on the Disney adults, but if they did one thing right, it's with these Loungefly backpacks. And another new thing is Popit backpacks. Another like not so practical backpack. Like we are a Popit nation. If there is an item, just any item, there's a Popit version of it. Popit headphones. Me personally, I love the, I can't pronounce it, Fjallraven Cohenken. I call it the Fjallraven Kanken. One of my body sprays did break in there, and it still smells of a very pungent smell of that said body spray, but it's a good backpack. So the future of backpacks, those cat backpacks, they do look pretty futuristic, but no, I'm not talking about those. I think backpacks, at least like for textbooks, won't be like super common, and maybe that's starting to be a thing, but like I don't know because I'm not in school, simply because textbooks aren't as common now. They've got their Chromebook, they've got their iPad, that's all they're using. So like those like sturdy backpacks that people would take to school, I don't think it'll be like as big of a staple as it once was. Like I feel like the days of actually causing harm to your neck, back, and shoulders from carrying so many textbooks in your backpack are over. But it built character, and I'm glad I went through it. Like this article says, now in an age where schools are relying more and more on digital tools, designers are rethinking backpacks, creating smaller, sleeker bags with compartments for laptops and smartphones built in. Backpack companies are also beginning to sell accessories that supplant backpacks for students of the digital age, such as JanSport's Digital Burrito, designed for students who just aren't carrying many books but need mobile storage for their devices. Let's see what this Digital Burrito is. That's a good name. It looks like an actual burrito. And you can carry like pens and pencils in there and like chargers. I guess I'm just not hip and cool. There's one that looks like an egg. One day you have Trapper Keepers, next day you have digital burritos. And that's just how the world turns. Well, thanks for watching, and come on, get your backpack, let's go.